everybody. Happy Friday night. I've got an audience and it's just kind of weird. Happy Friday night. Welcome to my Zen Den. I'm so glad that you could join me here tonight. We just finished our pizza party. We used to have pizza parties when we were kids, when the kids were little. I shouldn't say when we were kids, when my kids were little. And so it was asked tonight if we could have a pizza party and watch a movie for supper. So we just finished watching Night at the Museum. I'm kind of tired now because that's why I don't sleep. Watch movies for supper, I guess. But anyhow, I'm glad you could join me for some stamping tonight. We are going to be making some Valentines with the Sweet Conversations bundle. It is the cutest bundle hi Joyce. It is the cutest bundle that kind of centers around those conversation hearts for Valentine's Day. So it's very cute. It's very kind of whimsical. Got a lot of fun colors in it. So let's flip the camera around and we will get doing some stamping with the Sweet Conversations bundle. Hold on one second. All right. And you know the drill. The whole, I gotta turn my camera around and it's always tricky thing. But it's getting better. All right. Maybe. Sorry, got my hand in the way. There's the Sweet Conversations bundle. It is on page 10 of the catalog. Very cute bundle. Got lots of cute Valentine sayings in it. It's on page 10. Got some coordinating dies that go with. So let me see where it is. It is a photopolymer stamp set. So it's a 2-step stamp. I've got a lot of the stamps missing right now because they're mounted on blocks. But lots of different dies that go with it. Lots of different hearts and things like that. We'll be using a few of those dies tonight. This one here is actually a little envelope. I didn't make any cards with that, but it's kind of an envelope that you would fold those flaps over to make kind of an envelope kind of deal. And then there is the designer series paper, and the designer series paper isn't on that page, but it is in the back of the catalog with the rest of it. The rest of the designer series paper. You would have thought I would have found that first, right? It's right there on page 86. So it's 12 by 12 paper, and there is 2 each of 6 designs. So let's go through that. Very fun colors. See the conversation boxes, the little heart candies. Let's see what the colors are. Colors are Blushing Bride, Granny Apple Green, Highland Heather, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Real Red, and So Saffron. So that's the front of that. And then the back side is got a lot of little hearts on it going every which way. I think I'm turned sideways. Fun, bright colors, right? Perfect for Valentine's Day. And some of them you can use even after Valentine's. You know, the purple stripe, that's absolutely an after Valentine's too. So you aren't kind of cornered in to only that if you have leftover. This is a cool piece here with the stripes on it. And then just kind of a marbly piece with a Blushing Bride. This here piece, it's one of the classic Stampin' Up treats, right? Or Stampin' Up tricks, right? Where we can use our thinlits to cut out the hearts, to cut out the shapes on there. So you can cut out 3 of the different shapes of hearts. There's 3 different shapes of hearts on there. So you can cut out those if you wanted to directly out of the paper. So that is a lot of fun. And then on the back, it's got all kinds of different words for love in the purple. And then the lollipops and suckers with a nice bright, just kind of regular pattern of the white and real red on the back. So that is the paper. Let's get crafting and making some cards. The first card I'm going to make is kind of my more simple card. It is using a piece of Highland Heather cardstock, and that's cut at 11 by 4 1/4, scored down the center at 5 1/2. Where's my bone folder? I hear it. We're just going to give that a good burnishing. And then I've got a piece of the designer series paper, and I like this design of card because it shows off both sides of the designer series paper, and you're going to see what I mean in just a minute. This one is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and then I've got a scrap of Blushing Bride and a scrap of Real Red, and also a small scrap of Basic White. All right, so I'm going to pull in a couple of the stamps that are just the outline of the little candy hearts. Let's see, I've got BFF, Hug Me, Love You, all kinds of different. Let's see, what's this one? You're Cute and Text Me. I think I'm going to do BFF and Love You. And I'm going to use just the Highland Heather ink pad. So what I'm going to do first is take my card base, and this is a photopolymer stamp set, and with the outline stamps it's not quite as big of a deal. To use this mat, you are going to get a better image with your stamping, but when you're stamping with these that are more of a solid color, you're really going to want to use something to stamp on, so you get a nice image. So I'm going to open up my Highland Heather, and I'm going to just stamp a few little candy hearts. So there's a couple of the Love Yous and BFF. Kind of like that. Stamp right on there. And then while I've got my ink pad open, I'm going to find my stamp that says Happy Valentine's. It's right in front of me, don't worry. I'm going to take my my little scrap of white, and all I want on my scrap of white is to make sure that I have one really straight edge. And what I'm going to do is stamp it down in the Highland Heather and stamp it close to the edge, because I'm actually going to be cutting that out. So that is all for the stamping, unless of course you wanted to put something on the inside. This one I'm going to leave blank on the inside. So while I'm thinking of it here, I'm going to clean my stamps off with my very well-loved chamois. It's clean, by the way, I promise. It just doesn't look clean. Absolutely my most used stamping product is my chamois. Hands down. All right, so we are going to make what's called a collar fold card. Or if you've been at some of my classes, some people call this a Minnesota card, and you'll see why in just a second. So what I'm going to do is fold these pieces back. So how I figure that out is I'm going to make a slit 1 3/4 inches in, and I'm going to make it at halfway down this side. So this is 5 1/4. So I'm going to do a little bit of math, and I'm going to pull in my paper trimmer. And the reason I pull in my paper trimmer is because math works better when I have that. So I'm going to figure it out. 5 1/4, 2 1/2 is half of 5, and 1/8 is a half of 1/4. So it is 5 3/8. Yes, 5 3/8 inch. No, 5/8. 5 5/8 inch. See, this is why it's like 2 past the half. All right, and then if you look on this part of your paper trimmer, it's got a measurement. It's got a rulers right there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in to 2 5/8 inch, and then I'm going to mark this down to 1 3/4, and I'm going to stop right there. Okay? I apologize to any teachers that I had that are watching, because that was a terrible math. But We'll get it done. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to have my little dash line go right to 1 3/4. Okay? And if you want to, you can score that also. And what you would do to score it is to, what I find easiest is to put a little dot right at the top of your little, where you made the slit. So it's a little easier to see in your track. And then you're going to line your corner up. So the corner of your paper and your dot right up inside of your track. Okay? And you're gonna go just a little bit. Be careful because the designer series paper scores really, really easy. It's not like cardstock. It's a little bit more delicate. So we're gonna do that again. And that's just gonna make, if you don't do this, it's perfectly okay. Your card will be fine. But it does make it a little bit easier to fold. So now I'm going to take those two pieces and I'm going to fold them back. And see, I did get a little deep on my scoring there, but it'll be just fine. All right, so we're going to adhere that onto here. And this is why some of my stamping lady friends call this the Minnesota fold card, because it looks like the state of Minnesota. So we're going to put some adhesive on the back and make sure you run adhesive right along those fold marks there too. All right. So adhere that down. And then I usually just put a little bit of adhesive. I don't need to tack that down too hard, just a little bit up in that corner on each one, and then fold it down. So there's our main card. Isn't that cute? So now I'm going to take my heart punch pack. These punches come in a pack of 2, and they layer really nice. So what I'm going to do is take the red and punch that in the scalloped heart. And I'm going to take a piece of the blushing bride, and I'm going to punch that in the smooth heart. And I'm going to layer these up onto here. And these are all colors that are in the designer series paper. I didn't veer off at all with these colors. So keeping it really simple there. So I'm just going to take a little bit of adhesive and put that layer them right on top of each other. Isn't that cute? So much fun. And then what I'm going to do with my sentiment is take a snips, and I'm going to cut out. I found a 1/4 inch was just a little bit too much. And if you're not perfect, it's okay. I think we focused so hard on being perfect all the time. We don't have to be, but it's pretty straight. And then I'm just going to chop the words apart. And so I'm going to put on here, Happy Valentine's Day. Only I'm going to put it in the correct direction, like that. So let's pull in some dimensionals. And I'm going to use the edge pieces. You know, we like to use those edge pieces anyhow, so let's use those up. And I'm not going to go straight, and I'm not going to go straight on purpose, because that takes the pressure off, right? And it makes this is all kitty wampus anyhow, so it'll look perfect. It'll look exactly how we want it to. And if you wanted them straight, go for it. There's no right or wrong way when you're creating. Valentine's, and then one more put on the back of there. Oof, my dimensional got a little big. I'm gonna rip him apart. There we go. It was a little bit too big for my little piece of paper. All right, so there's day, just like that. And now I'm going to put some bigger dimensionals on the back. And this will not be too big to mail. There's really no other dimension on it, so it'll be just fine. Put those on there, and I'm going to center that. So it's going to cover up. If you did make a little black mark, it's going to cover that up perfectly. Cute, 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 cute. I've got some, let's see. You know the drill. I lose everything. I have iridescent. I put my Stampin' Pierce mat on top of them. I've got the iridescent rhinestone jewels. These are from the June to July or January to June mini catalog, and they're so pretty. They kind of take on any color that you're using. So I'm just going to put one right there in the heart because I thought it needed just a little bit of bling. And you absolutely could finish this off with a sentiment on the inside. In fact, let's do that. I have a piece of white right here. Let's pull that Highland Heather ink pad back in. And this says, happy to have you in my life, which is perfect because why wouldn't you say you're happy to have your BFF in your life, right? Just like that. Should we put some kind of heart in there too? I think we should. Let's take that BFF and love you out again, the same ones that we had on the front, and we'll just put some of those down on the bottom. Like that. How about like that? We'll put one more for good measure. There we go. I like it. And so we'll put that on the inside. Do you guys find you send out a lot of Valentines? I think I don't generally, but I think I should because it's fun and it's just another reason to send out some happy mail, right? And who doesn't love happy mail? So there's card number 1, and that's a collar fold card. Super fun way to use your designer series paper so you can see both sides. So that is card number 1. Let's move on to card number 2. All right. Card number 2 has got a little bit more, get to use a little bit more product. So I've got a piece of, let's see here, Blushing Bride, and this is at 5.5 by 8.5, score down the middle, 4 1/4. I have got a piece of the designer series paper. I've got this pattern here with the purple on the back. And I've got a scrap of basic white, and then I've got a piece of basic white for on the inside of the card as well. So we are going to, actually this basic white is not for the inside. The basic white is my trick for the outside. We're going to bring in my trimmer again. And I am going to, so this piece of designer series paper is 4 by 5 1/4. I am going to trim it. So I have I'm going to trim it at, so my piece here is at 3.5. Okay. So now I've got 2 pieces of designer series paper. Voila. If you turn it over, it makes a really, it makes a beautiful accent. And you could do it that way, or you could do it that way. I'm going to put this on the top just because, or you could do it this way if you wanted to too, right? There's no right or wrong way, for real. So the way I had it planned in my head though was to do it with the hearts on top. And so that's what I'm going to continue on. It's my plan. And the reason I'm mounting it onto a piece of cardstock is so that I can tie a ribbon around it. It makes it easier so I can do that. And so I'm going to take, I've got some, let's see here, double stitched satin ribbon. This is from the main catalog. And it's a nice, beautiful, real red color also, so it coordinates really well with this suite. And I tie it all the way around, and that's going to hide this seam here. And I'm tying just a basic knot. I'm not tying a bow or anything like that. This is just simply a basic knot like that. Let's see if my paper snips will cut it tonight. By golly, it does. Woohoo! I must have them clean. Sometimes my paper snips get so full of goo that they hardly cut paper. Tonight they're cutting ribbon. It's a good day. All right. So if you do find that your ribbon's a little loose, there's a couple of sneaky ways to make that. This one seems pretty good. You can always tighten it up on the back. Take a piece of double-sided tape or even a regular piece of Scotch tape and tighten it up so it doesn't wiggle on you. This one seems pretty good, but I am going to put just one glue dot. I'm going to take your pick tool, and I'm going to take one glue dot, and I'm putting it right behind this knot. And just wherever you want your dot to be, that's where you should put your, line it up so it's right there, and then just put your glue dot behind it. And that's going to just stabilize your ribbon so that it doesn't wiggle and shimmy on you. All right, so now that's ready to mount right onto our card. Another trick is to put a little piece of tape or adhesive right on each side too, so it doesn't wiggle. Aren't those just fun colors? I really like it. And I plan on giving you some more ideas for some other projects. I just wanted to focus on this suite because it's got so many colors and so many different pieces. And could really do a lot with it. Put my pin back in so I don't lose it. All right, so let's do some stamping. I'm going to bring in the colors that I've used on that are used in the suite. So I've got So Saffron, Blushing Bride, Granny Apple Green, and I do have the Real Red. That's for the sentiment on the inside. I do have another piece of basic white. So let's do the sentiment on the inside first. That's in the Real Red. And all I'm doing is taking the stamp that says Happy Valentine's Day, like that. And then I'm going to take, there's a little 3 hearts. I thought it'd be fun just to put those right underneath, just like that. Sweet, so sweet. All right, so that will go on the inside. I can set that aside for right now. Now on my scrap, I'm going to stamp some hearts. So it looks like a lot, but I'm using a lot of pieces here. So I'm going to pull in my 3 solid hearts, and then I'm going to pull in, let's see, a stamp that's got a sentiment on here for the big one, the stamp that's got a sentiment on here for this shape, and the sentiment Love You on this shape. So let's do the yellow first, and I'm just going to shoot. It doesn't really matter which way you do it on a 2-step stamp. If you want to do, I'll show you both ways and you can be the judge. I'm going to do the solid first, just stamp down, and then I'm going to take the words, and we'll see if this works out. I might end up, excuse my head if you see the top of my head, you need to line it up directly over top. Stamp down, and you can see that it says Hug Me on there, and it's not lined up perfect, but that's perfectly okay. All right, so now we're going to do the pink one in Blushing Bride, and so let's do we're gonna stamp the words first and see if that makes it. Let's see here. Nope, that's not the one I want. I'm going to do Love You and Blushing Bride. They have different shapes. I was like, that's not the shape I want. All right, so Love You. And now we're going to take that solid shape and we're going to stamp it right in there. And I kind of think I like that better, like when I stamp the word first and then the solid behind. So let's try that with the Granny Apple Green. Stamp that. And I just said I like doing the word first, and now here I am doing it the opposite way. Wouldn't you know it? I love a challenge. All right, stamp straight down. All right, so there you go. You're cute. All right, so I'm going to take my little framelits out, or my thinlits. And I should mention too that all the thinlits, all the dies on this set, they all work in the mini. So that's pretty exciting. If you've got a mini, this set will work beautifully with it. So I'm going to line up and run it through my cut and emboss machine. So I'm going to line my dies up like that and cut them all out in one pass. All right, so I will be right back. I'm going to do that. And don't mind me, I got to line them all up again because I didn't do it the first time on a plate. Wouldn't that have been genius? All right, so come off, please. I've got my 3 hearts. All right, I've got my 3 hearts here that cut out, oh so cute. And I am going to put those right in here. So I think I'm going to put the You're Cute, the Hug Me, and the Love You, and I'm going to put them all right in like that. So let's get some dimensionals out. I'm gonna take out a full big sheet here for the big guy. A full sheet of dimensionals. So fun, makes me so happy. I'm gonna put him up just a little higher. And then I'll use some of the partials here. Tuck this guy in just a bit. And I'm gonna put him over here. And then this one. Oof, these dimensionals are tricky on me tonight. They're just, I don't know. My fingers are so dry and I've got cuts on it, like where they break. The mail does a number on my hands every winter, and it's doing it now. So, all right. So we just layered some of those on there, and I just fancy up my ribbon there a little bit. Cute, isn't that fun? Perfect for your a girlfriend or nieces or nephews, anything like that. Anybody like that. This is the perfect Valentine card for anybody you would be giving a Valentine to. So that's card number 2. So cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, card number 3. You know I was going to move out of that. Oh, hold on a second. Let's add some bling. Let's add some bling because we can, because I've got these left over from Christmas and they are still good to use. That's like the best part about Christmas and Valentine's Day. They all have red. Lots of red. So let's put some red rhinestones in there just to add a little bit of bling. Because we've got them, so we may as well use them. I have got Dimensional confetti everywhere. Whew. Dimensional confetti. I found that in my husband's spot in bed the other day. And I thought that either was from a cat or he was trouncing around down here looking for something. Who knows? All right, so that's card number 3. Now, or card number 2. Card number 3, I am changing it up. And I got the inspiration for this card from my upline, Patsy Wagner. I am casing her card. It's similar to what she did, but it is definitely not identical in any way. And that's what casing is. There's 2 ways to define casing: copy and share everything, or copy and selectively edit. So that's what I chose to do, was copy and selectively edit. So what I have here is a piece of basic black, which is not scored, let me tell you. So it is just a basic size. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm scoring it down the middle at 4 1/4. And the scoring just makes folding it a lot easier. Definitely not something you need to do, but it does make folding it just that much easier. So there is that. And then I've got a piece of basic white for the inside, because obviously you'll need a basic white for the inside of a black. I've got a piece of Designer Series paper cut at 4 by 4. I have got a piece of basic white, and that is cut at 3.5 by 3.5. And then I have these 4 little strips, and they are about, I think they're 3/8 of an inch. No, 3/16 of an inch. This math thing is kicking my butt tonight. 3/16 of an inch. So it's a little less than 1/4 inch, but more than 1/8. Okay. And they are 3 1/4 inches long. And what I'm going to do is build a tic-tac-toe board. And I'm totally eyeballing this. I am not doing it perfect by any means, but I am going to use glue simply because it's easier to work with and you can kind of move it around. Now you don't need a lot of glue, just a little bit. And we're going to build a tic-tac-toe board on this piece of basic white. All right. So we're just going to... Did you guys play a lot of tic-tac-toe when you were kids? We must have had chalkboards or something around, because I feel like I played a lot of tic-tac-toe. And maybe that was, I don't know. Maybe we only did it a few times, but it seems like we played a lot. And I know I've played it with my kids as well. But my family, we like, my household, my kids now, we really enjoy board games. Last year we got a game called Ticket to Ride. And we love it because it actually, I have 3 children and my husband, so all 5 of us can play. Seems like a lot of games only let you play 2 or 4 at a time. So we like Ticket to Ride because it can do 5. All right, and I've got a little bit of glue there. I'm going to let that dry just a bit. And then I'm going to bring in my black Memento ink. And in the stamp set, there are these little X's and O's. Hugs and kisses, right? My take on it, or Patsy's take on it also, was to do a tic-tac-toe board. So I am going to, let's see. Do it like that, and maybe one down there. All right, and then what we're going to do, I'm not going to do any O's. I don't need to, because what I'm going to use instead are just some hearts. And on the one, I am going to take a scrap of red. So I've got my little scrap of red, and I'm going to do 3 hearts out of that. Do I have enough red there? I don't know if I do. some back here though. Okay. So I'm going to cut out 3 hearts on my cut and emboss machine. So give me just 1 second. You would have thought I had this done, but no. So here's 1, maybe. Oh, they're sticking to my plate big time tonight. Here is 2. And 1 more. And there is 3. Okay, so I've got my 3 hearts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Love You stamp, and I think I'm going to stamp it in black. And I cut before I am stamping, but I'm taking a total shot at it, mostly because the ink is so dark that I thought I could do it, and I did. That's totally backwards, but all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this kind of, because those look so floaty, I thought maybe I would mount that kind of off center. So let's do that. For real. So many confetti around tonight. I must not have cleaned my desk very well. Well, I know I didn't clean my desk very well because I was watching a movie. I sound like a kid. All right. That's the way I want it. Is that the way I want it? Oh dear. The struggle. There. Let's go this way. I'd like it to go this way. So my hearts are going to be a tic-tac-toe that way. Who knows what I want? And I'm not doing this like centered any specific way. I want to make sure that I can see a lot of that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere the 2 corners down like directly with some glue. Like that. Throw that around. And then I'm going to take a dimensional and put that, the center one up. Like that. And I thought this needed just a little bit of bling, so I am using just basic rhinestones. I like those a lot. We're going to use this little piece up. I'm going to take one of those big ones and put it right there. And then I'm going to take off of my full sheet. I'm going to take 2 smaller ones. And one on that side of it. And one on that side of it. Let's see if I can get that one closer. And just kind of eyeball it, get it evenly spaced. Isn't that cute? So let's stamp Happy Valentine's Day on the inside of this card. We're going to stamp it in black, but we're going to take, we'll bring in our real red. And maybe the blushing bride too, and stamp a few hearts inside there. Let's see. Let's use our, I want to make sure I get a good impression on there. Let's go up the side. Do that one. And that one. Isn't it fun? I like this. I like it. Let's do a little blurb of a pink down here too. Cute. Isn't that fun? All right. So let's adhere that into the inside of our card. So striking. I like it a lot. All right, so there is card number 3. So let's bring in our other 2. So there are our Valentine cards, using the Sweet Conversations Sweet and the Sweet Talk Designer Series paper. Lots of different options with that. So I'm going to flip the camera around, say goodbye. All right, there we go. Maybe. There we, holy cows. It's like a delayed reaction. All right, I hope you enjoyed watching tonight. Thank you, and if you're watching the replay, thank you for taking the time to watch the replay. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Just a couple of reminders. I do have a stamping class, a Valentine class, coming up on the 31st of January here, and that's going to be at Chris's Country Store in Gray Eagle from 6 to 8 p.m. on Monday, January 31st. So that's filling up fast. So if you want to get in on that, you need to get a hold of me right away so I can save you a spot. Otherwise, we have Stamp Camp coming up in Sauk Center on February 5th, which is next Saturday. So that'll be exciting. I have a few other dates that are coming up in February also. I will have those on, I will be posting them here on my Facebook page. I also have them on my Stampin' Up website. So if you go into the stampinup.com and search Amanda VanHavermaet, you will find my calendar there as well. So I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope you get some crafting in. It's going to be yucky. So just stay home and craft. Make some cards, make some something. I will see you next Friday night. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.